What's going on, everybody? My name is Aiden and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, today it is time to discuss the potential idea of letting Josh Giddey test free agency this upcoming off-season. Now, at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, I feel like this is only natural to see, and ultimately it is going to be a rather interesting off-season period for the Bulls because I would view this one as more unpredictable. Sure, I think it makes a lot of sense to keep Josh Giddey around. He's still at a young age. With this team obviously needs to grow, and there's a lot of talents that Josh Giddey does possess. But with that being said, the Bulls right now are so unpredictable. I couldn't tell you what their next move is going to be. I couldn't tell you if they're going to keep guys like Kobe, Io, whether they're going to trade Vucevic, whether they've already extended Lonzo. So there's already certain things that we don't know about, certain things that maybe came as a surprise to us. Is Josh Giddey leaving the Bulls potentially one of them? Well, as per usual, because I love to give my opinion on things, and as an Australian, I like to talk about Josh Giddey because he's a fellow Australian. So I want to discuss these things in deeper detail in this video. But before we get any further, if you like the video and you want to see more from me, drop a like, drop a follow, and or subscribe if you are new, and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about these Chicago Bulls and whether or not you think keeping Josh Giddey around is a good idea, or do you think there is more to this that meets the eye? Is there a potential to part ways with Josh Giddey and everything in between? So without further ado, let us get started. So, I guess the question I want to answer first is it likely to see Josh Giddey leave the Chicago Bulls in the upcoming offseason? And the answer to that is pretty simple in my opinion, and it's remained simple the entire season. The answer is no. I do not think it's likely that we see Josh Giddey depart from the Chicago Bulls this offseason for numerous reasons. I understand the value of seeing what his market is going to be in free agency, but we got to keep in mind he is going to be a restricted free agent this season, or this offseason, ladies and gentlemen. So, what does that mean? Most of you know what it means, but if you don't, it basically means we have the control. So we're allowing Josh Giddey to test the market, sure. We're allowing him to kind of see what teams are interested, what teams are willing to offer, sure. That's all fine and good. But when it's all said and done, whose decision is it to keep Josh Giddey or not? Not mine, but it's the Bulls. It's the Bulls' decision if they want to keep Josh Giddey around. So let's just say some team offers Josh Giddey $20 million a season. Hefty amount, right? Maybe a little bit underpaid, maybe overpaid. Whatever your valuation of Josh Giddey is, you can keep that to yourself if you like. But let's just say hypothetically he's getting $20 million a season next season, right? The Bulls can have a choice to match that offer, or they can let him walk. But it's up to us. And that's why I'm not fearful of Josh Giddey testing free agency. I'm just not fearful of it. Because at the end of the day, I know if the Bulls really want to keep him around, that they will keep him around. And it is as simple as that. We traded Zach LaVine for probably the very reason to pay Josh Giddey. There's a high chance of that happening. I'm not saying he's getting max contract money, but he could get a decent amount from the Bulls. And Josh Giddey's probably very interested in that as well. So I do not fear Josh Giddey leaving the Chicago Bulls. Because if he does leave, then I would have known at least that the Bulls wanted that to happen. And that's all I could ask for. If the Bulls want to keep Josh Giddey, they should. If the Bulls want to let Josh Giddey go, they should. At least it's going to be up to them. Unless a team comes in, offers ridiculous amount of money. Let's be honest, Josh Giddey's not worth a max amount. He's not worth 30, 40, 50 million a season, is he? So if a team offers that amount, then fair enough. They overpaid and we walk away from an asset that we tried hard to get. But as long as the Bulls have the option, they're going to want to keep around Josh Giddey. For the very words that AK said when he traded Alex Caruso for Josh Giddey, when you make a trade like that, you have the plan to keep them around. That is what AK said about Josh Giddey at the very beginning of the season. I know it's a long time ago, but at the end of the day, those words have to mean something. I know AK doesn't always speak the truth, but that is something that I have in the back of my mind. Josh Giddey is an asset that they traded for, knowing full well that they wanted to extend him. So they probably will extend him, and I think that's all right. But is it the right move? That's the next question. Is it the right move for the Bulls? Is it the right move for Josh Giddey? Is it the right move for every other team in the league? Is there another team in the league that we should be fearful of? Is it the right move to make? Well, personally, I do think it's the right move for Josh Giddey to be a Chicago Bull. He's obviously stated before that he loves playing here. That's a big bonus, but it's not necessarily the main reason why I'd keep him around. But I always want players that want to be here. It's as simple as that. That's why I always valued when Zach LaVine said it. I always valued when Io and Kobe say it. I always value when, obviously, when Josh Giddey says it. I want players that want to be here. There's no point playing with the Chicago Bulls if you don't want to be here. We want a team that is passionate about the city, the organization, the fans, everything involved. That's what we want. And that's how you get success. You don't get success from players half-arsing it for Chicago. You don't get that. We didn't get that in the 90s. We didn't get players half-arsing it. We got players that wanted to be in Chicago, playing in Chicago, and building a dynasty. So if you want to get back to any sort of level of success, you're going to need players that want to play here. Enough said. So at least with Josh Giddey, I see his potential, and I see the fact that he wants to play here, and I definitely think it's the right move. He does have some good qualities to him. He is a very good playmaker, and he can make an impact on that end. He's a phenomenal rebounder for a guy, I won't say of his size, but for the guard position, because that's where he plays. He's very good in that area. Yes, there are weaknesses to him, and I don't personally see those weaknesses actually changing. I don't see him being an elite defender in this league ever, personally. I can see improvements there, sure. I can see him becoming a moderate defender in the league, sure. But he's not going to be elite. He's not going to be a guy that locks down an opponent offensive player every given night. He's not going to be that guy for you. I can see that shot improving. That's just me. I mean, he's trying to shoot the three at least, and that's always a good sign. There are certain players in the league that don't even try to shoot the three. So, at least with Josh Giddey, you can see the effort there to try and improve the shot. And he's still really young, so there's always a chance for improvements there each and every single season. So I do see the value. But if you see the value in Josh Giddey staying with the Bulls, that means there are other teams in the league that see the value in bringing him in. And he has qualities that certain teams may need. Certain teams do need point guards. Certain teams do need facilitating point guards as well. It's not necessarily all about the Steph Currys of the world where they can knock down 30 points a game but call themselves a point guard in a sense. They are great point guards. Steph Curry's a great point guard. Damian Lillard, another one, a great point guard. But it's not necessarily all about the scoring from that position. So many teams have scoring from other areas that maybe all you need is a facilitator, or you need someone that could be the floor general of your team. And teams will want that with Josh Giddey. So I do see competition, is what I'm trying to say. I think there are certain teams that will want a Josh Giddey. But one thing I'm still going to remain confident is, I don't think anyone is going to overpay for Josh Giddey. But we traded Caruso for it. We traded one of our most valuable assets for Josh Giddey. So if he is going to be dragged away from another team, you could bet your top dollar they're not going to go away without a fight. And you know what? I could also see a situation where the Bulls, maybe he will test free agency, but I can see the Bulls kind of signing him on right before restricted free agency starts, or even as soon as restricted free agency starts, the Bulls keeping him, just like they did with Kobe White. Kobe White didn't really listen to any other offers, did he? They basically, as soon as restricted free agency started, he signed on straight away. I can see the same thing happening with Josh Giddey, just to ensure that we do keep the player that we want. So it really comes down to Josh Giddey and what he wants, because it's clear that the Bulls want to keep him. And would Josh Giddey want to stay? Well, again, if he really does love Chicago, he would want to stay. And we'll figure it out. I guess time will tell whether or not he loves Chicago or not, or whether or not a business decision will overtake that. I really don't know. But what do you guys think? Do you think it's the right idea? I know a lot of people don't like Josh Giddey on this team. For personal reasons, which again, is up to you. But also because he does have very big weaknesses. And some games he is taken out of the game very easily. But again, he's a young player. Young player with the world of expectations on his shoulders, clearly. So there's always room to grow there. And there's always room for him to find his place. So that's what I'm looking for Josh Giddey in the future. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay tuned for more. Take care. And peace.